It hardly seems possible that it's been 75 years since federal highway officials looked at a map, drew a line between Chicago and LA, connected the dots, and gave it the name 66. I don't think they could have ever imagined what mystic proportions their creation would take on. I've been a dedicated Route 66 road warrior for years now, since my first adventure down America's Main Street when I was a boy. And I've seen the highway change, for better and for worse. So it's only natural, as the fabled highway turns 75, that we take to the two-lane once more, to report on what remains and what's changed along the shoulders of Route 66. You can make the trip in either direction, but for the real road warrior, the preferred journey is west.
A lot of people travel 66 from west to east, but the way to do it, to get the full impact of the experience, is to move west.
So, we begin our journey at the Chicago Art Institute on the edge of Grant Park. Make a left off Michigan Avenue and head west. We're on Old 66, snaking through the land of Lincoln. When we visited the Chain of Rocks Bridge back in 1994, this is all we could see of the famous span that once carried Route 66 traffic across the Mississippi. The unique two-lane toll bridge was overgrown, chained off, and abandoned. Not so today. In one of the most spectacular Route 66 revival efforts, locals have cleaned her up and reopened the bridge as part of an extensive 40-mile trail system.
People have come from all over the world to walk and bike on this mile-long bridge that's 24 feet wide, and they just seem to enjoy getting out there. We get several hundred people a day on the weekends.
So now, you can cross the longest pedestrian bridge in the world and picnic within sight of the span's one-of-a-kind dog leg, designed to help riverboats pass safely underneath. A few miles west, the stunning Coral Court did not fare as well as the Chain of Rocks Bridge. When we were here in '94, the popular landmark was already closed and slated for the wrecking ball. Sadly, the Art Deco Motor Court has now been replaced by a condominium complex. When we first took that short detour off the Mother Road to film one of Missouri's first tourist attractions, Merrimack Caverns was in the capable hands of Les Torelli, the grandson of its founder, Lester Dill.
I never forget, he used to tell me, him and my grandmother both, that when people come into your establishment, you have to treat them like they were coming into your home, and just treat them like family and make them welcome and make them want to come back, and that's what we try to do here. And so far it's worked.
Now, Les is teaching his son the ropes of managing a commercialized cave, and he understands the lure of Route 66.
The lure of Route 66 is the nostalgia and all the beautiful history that has surrounded the Mother Road. And Merrimack Caverns supports all that history and has some great history of its own.
It sure does. This is the place where the bumper sticker was first used for advertising. Remember the Big 8 Motel in El Reno, Oklahoma? This is where Hollywood came to make their blockbuster movie Rain Man. And for years after Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman checked in, Room 17, where they stayed, became quite a tourist attraction.
The motel they were going to shoot in Amarillo got down on the Sunset, well, it was on the old 66 highway, and it got tore down. They sold it and they tore it down before they got a contract on it. So that's coming through here with a picture of that one. And they run into Marinelle Clark, which is a friend of ours, head of the Tourism Bureau at that time, and they showed her the picture, and they said, "Oh, I know where there's one that looked just like it." So they came out here and looked at it, and that was it. This bed was turned around where the head of it was at the window. Dustin Hoffman had something about his head being to a window. It had a green chair in this corner. We've had at least 3,000 people in here from Europe. There's usually 8 or 10 a day that stops out there and takes pictures.
But since 1994, the property has changed hands, and apparently the new owner is no movie buff. He's turned the distinctive Big 8 into the Deluxe Inn, just another nondescript motel along the Mother Road. But take heart, Route 66 collectors. Rumor has it the classic Big 8 sign, billing this as Amarillo's finest, is still around. In its heyday, Route 66 had no lack of diversity in the look of the hotels, motels, and motor courts that lined the shoulders. There were no cookie-cutter chains. Back then, Route 66 mirrored the differences that were America. But more than architecture, what has fascinated me are the variety of famous people who have sought shelter along America's Main Street. It's common knowledge that Clark Gable and Carol Lombard married in Kingman, Arizona, and spent their wedding night in a room at the hotel in the mining town of Oatman. A lot of visitors believe that their ghosts are still there. In Gallup, New Mexico, the El Rancho was once a popular hotel playground for Hollywood's cowboy stars and starlets who traveled to the Southwest to film their movies around the nearby mesas. And I must say, I'm flattered to have a room named after me at the former Navajo Motel, now the Route 66 in Seligman, Arizona. You got to admit, I'm in pretty good company here.